What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video I'm going to be giving a full recap of WWDC 2013. Now, as you guys know, every year around this time Apple has their WWDC conference. I know I'm putting this video up a day late, but I wanted to take some time to get together some notes, so excuse me if I do look down a couple times at my notes, but I really wanted to get everything down about WWDC 2013 and kind of put everything together and tell you all about what Apple has announced, some big things, some little things, pretty much just tidbits of everything, getting down to the nitty-gritty, I guess, of just everything that Apple went ahead and announced. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this and start with iOS 7, which is the 7th version of iOS, and it's currently in the beta stages. However, it is going to be out to everyone in the fall, and I actually am running iOS 7 currently on my iPhone 5. I plan to upgrade my iPad mini to the beta version as well. They just don't have the iPad beta for any of the iPads at all. It's just available right now for the iPhones and the iPod Touches, and I gotta say, it is a big change. I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's very different, but some of the notable features I want to go over is there's a completely new flat design, like I said. Since Scott Forstall's now out with this whole skeuomorphic designs, Johnny Ive, who designs these Apple products to begin with, the actual product itself, not the software, he went ahead and took charge for this iOS release and just made it look awesome. Everything that you have gotten used to in iOS and how everything looks is all going to change as soon as this comes out for everyone, and quite honestly, I think the change is for the better. A lot of people were scared that this flat design was just going to crush some people and make them, feel bad about it, but I gotta say, this is really going to revolutionize the way that we use our mobile devices every day. Some other notable features is that there's a new thing called Control Center, which you slide up. You could do it on the lock screen or you could do it on the home screen, and you get all these Wi-Fi, airplane mode, Bluetooth toggles, which is something that we've had with jailbreaks for very long. Well, Apple's finally introduced it. You get brightness, music, AirDrop, which I'll get to in a little bit. You just get everything there, and it is so cool, it's so fast, and it literally just has everything you ever need. It's got a flashlight toggle, a calculator toggle, a camera toggle, you name it, it's all there. One thing people have always wanted is being able to block. Well, now you can. With this new feature, you could block any contact, any phone number, any email, if you're sending iMessages and stuff, and basically it blocks any calls, FaceTimes, or iMessages from them, and I could definitely tell a lot of people are going to be using it. Obviously, it doesn't do a direct block from cell to cell, like cell phone to cell phone, but it's more like Apple kind of sets this block so you don't receive any content from them. Pretty cool. There's also what I said before, AirDrop for iOS, which is going to be coming on every iOS device with the iOS 7 upgrade. Basically, people nearby you, they just turn AirDrop on, and they could just select files that they want and just drop them to you. They could be, anything really, and it's better than, using the bump app and going around the room, and that's what they said at the keynote, just bumping into people trying to send them these files. So it's a pretty cool feature. They also introduced camera filters, much like the ones in Instagram. There's even a feature now in the Camera iOS app, which was also completely redone, which lets you take a square photo so you could fit it perfectly for services like Instagram. They don't specifically state that, but that's the idea. And you also have the filters right built into the Camera Photos app. Siri, we all know, has been revamped as well. Now, it's a lot better. The look of it is completely different. You're not going to believe how it looks. It is very cool. And also, there's now an HD voice. However, in the first beta, it's not working too well. I'm still on the regular voice. And you also have the option of male or female, and it doesn't sound like a robot. It sounds like a human almost, kind of like the Google voice search. There's also better car integration with iOS 7, meaning if you want to hook up your iDevice to your car, that's going to work out perfect. There was a completely redesigned Safari browser as well, so Safari looks completely different and operates a lot different. I've been a Chrome iOS user pretty much ever since Chrome came out for iOS. However, after seeing what Safari did, what Apple did with Safari is pretty cool. Now you could have unlimited tabs as a new way to browse. Everything goes away when you're looking up and down. It's very cool, and there's all sorts of iCloud stuff, which I'm going to get into in a minute as well. Applications, the applications that you're going to be downloading from the App Store, all update automatically now, so you don't even have to think about it. It's just the updates just come automatically. iTunes Radio, which just a couple days before WWDC, we were speculating, and this is pretty much, I'm sorry to say it, but the killer of Spotify, and especially Pandora. I mean, with Spotify, you could search up anything and listen to it as much as you want, but you do have to pay for it, especially if you want it on your iOS device, and you have to pay for it if you don't want ads. It's as much as that. It is a free service, but if you want everything, like I pay $10 a month for Spotify to get everything on my phone. However, after seeing iTunes Radio, I think I'm going to cancel my subscription only because what I could do with iTunes Radio is I could select stations and I could listen to any of that music, and I've actually found a lot of songs that I know and love listening to, and I just star them, and a lot of songs like that come up. It's very cool, and it's right built into the music app. As long as you have some sort of internet connection or cellular connection, then you're good to go, and you got iTunes Radio working. Very cool service. And one more thing I'm sure you guys are going to be happy about, you can now put that annoying little newsstand thing that you never use into a folder. And that's pretty much it for iOS 7. So next I want to talk about the OS X side. And what Apple went ahead and did is introduce 10.9, and they set up on stage, we're cutting it with the cats, and we're going to be calling it, because, you know, ever since 10.0, they've been using cat names like snow leopard, lion, cheetah, puma, jaguar, tiger, leopard, snow leopard, lion, mountain lion. I think I named them all there. I may have missed one in the beginning, but they're finally done with it, and so they gave it the name Mavericks. At first, I was like, when they were showing like the California flag, I was thinking, what are they gonna call it, bear? But they went ahead and called it Mavericks, and hence the background, the default background, which is a very nice one by the way, giant wave. But anyways, that's what it's called, 10.9 Mavericks. And some of the notable features are now you could have tabs, tags in Finder. That's all inside Finder. You could have tabs and tags, so it's a little bit more organized and a little bit easier to use. There's better support for multiple monitors, so meaning if you're connected to other monitors, kind of like I am now. Like I use my TV and I hook up my MacBook so that I have pretty much three screens at my desk. I have my desktop Mac, my MacBook, and my TV, which is connected to my MacBook. So it's a little bit better support for those. And now when you're using Apple TV to AirPlay, if you guys remember, that was kind of unstable all the time and it didn't work the best, but now you can actually use it as a full power display. It's a lot better. It's not just moving your desktop over to the Apple TV, it's actually working as another full power display. Apple's also added some technologies to make the battery life a lot better. Quite honestly, if you ask me, the MacBook battery life that I have just sucks completely. I unplug it and I begin losing life instantly. And I mean, I never have my brightness turned up that much, but they have updated that, and also the performance is supposed to improve a lot better. All I know is I have 4 gigs of RAM in my MacBook, and it is very, very slow at times. Safari got a small update, with reading list and tabs. It's working out pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Apple's always very up to date with Safari. They're always making a lot of changes with it. However, I'm always gonna be a Chrome user on Mac. That's just my opinion. And one of the major features that was announced that's gonna be working not only with Safari for Mac OS X, but this also counts for iOS too, is something called iCloud Keychain, and this is gonna work across all of your sort of iOS devices and your Mac computers as well, and it's going to pretty much, if they're all your devices and you have them set under that, if you log into Facebook on your Mac, it'll already be there on your iPad, it'll already be there on your iPhone, vice versa. So it all works out perfectly, so you're not logging in separately every time. I'm a little bit secure with my accounts. However, my own personal products that I'm not sharing with my family, I'm fine with using iCloud Keychain to work all my passwords with my MacBook, my iPad, and my iPhone. Now, speaking of iCloud, I just wanted to throw in one more thing here. It kind of relates to Mac, pretty much computers in general, but if you guys know what iCloud.com is, that's where all of your stuff is based. You could log in right on iCloud.com, literally. But they're going to be updating iWork, which is out for the Mac right now, and it's like Pages, Keynote, and Numbers, and they're actually going to be building it into iCloud so that you'll be able to use it in the web, and you'll be able to take your stuff that you have with your Mac applications and bring it there, Word documents even and stuff, and also you'll be able to use it on PC too, since iCloud.com works on PC. Also, another thing, in the top right-hand corner where you'd be getting notifications like from iMessage on your Mac, you can now quick reply to them. You don't just have to swipe them away or hit reply, and then it opens up the messages. You could just hit reply, and it'll open a little drop-down bar, and you could type your message and send it. I wish they kind of put this in iOS. Maybe they're developing it. We'll have to wait and see. And then Apple even brought some new apps to 10.9 Mavericks as well. And some of those are iBooks, Maps, and they've also redesigned the entire calendar application. Now, Mavericks is going to be releasing in the fall. Usually with OS X, the way it's been working is they release it the next month in July. However, they might need a little bit more time to work on it, and the beta is out today if you'd like to use it. Of course, you do have to be a Mac registered developer. It is going to be a fall release, which will be following iOS 7, and possibly some, new MacBook Pros, which we didn't see at WWDC, maybe a new Mac, and possibly the iPhone 5S. So So that was pretty much the basis of WWDC, you know, iOS and OS X, very two important things that are, they're completely changed each year at WWDC, and I gotta say, this year was the year for both of them, especially iOS. I mean, you know, every year it's a little bit different, but iOS just went off the charts this year. Now, obviously, you know, with Mavericks, we're gonna have a couple new Macs too, and one of the most notable ones that Apple talked about was the Mac Pro. Now, this thing kind of looks a little bit interesting. If you guys know what the Mac Pro is, it's that big silver brick computer. It's like this big, it's huge, and however, it's got a crazy amount of power and storage and speed. It's a crazy machine, but you know, with everything evolving, Apple kind of wants to change up the game a little bit, so they introduced this interesting little tube thing, and it's got a shiny look to it, and it's much smaller, you know, the cover's able to come off and you're able to work with the parts inside. It's pretty interesting. But it's got fantastic specs as usual. I heard that on the back, when you're looking at the ports, when you're looking to plug in stuff, it even lights up. And it's got, like I said, it's got this really weird tube cylinder shape, and a lot of people are dubbing it as the garbage can, because like in the middle of it, well, at the top of it, it kind of dips in, and from a distance, it looks like a small garbage can. However, this thing's got an interesting design. At first, I said, wow, that's so cool, but then I looked a little closer at it, and I was like, I don't know, Apple. I kind of like the design of the current Mac Pro. However, if they're able to downsize it and this becomes a popular product, they don't want to do something like the G4 Cube that they did back in 2000, which was just an awful selling product. And one of the most notable things was this is the first Apple product that's going to be manufactured in the USA. And this could be a first for all products here on. Currently, most of the stuff is made in China. However, they're going to make this right here in the US. We have no official date on the Mac Pro. They said later this year, so it's got to come out probably by holiday or probably by the time the fall announcement comes of iOS 7. Maybe they just didn't want to say it, or maybe they're saying later this year to make it like the November event that happened with the iPad mini, if you remember, or, you know, maybe even holiday. But they did say this year. I don't know if they'll delay it or not. You know, Apple has delayed some things, like they've put out times, especially if you guys remember the white iPhone 4. That was just so off. But you know, it really depends on what Apple wants to do. But right now they're saying later this year. That's what the projected date for it. And one of the last things, you know, people were very disappointed. No new iMacs, no new MacBook Pros. They just worked with the Macbook Airs a little bit. It's pretty much the same deal. However, you're going to be getting all-day battery now, and you're also going to be getting some new processor chips, along with increased storage. I think the best selling point here is the better battery life, because quite honestly, you know, MacBook, in general, the batteries aren't that great, and since Mavericks is going to be fixing that anyways, I think it'll really work for the MacBook Air too. Since the MacBook Air versus the Pro, you know, the Air's kind of an all-day thing, the Pro's more serious work, if you know what I mean. And guys, that is WWDC 2013. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the full recap. Like I said, this is pretty much everything that Apple talked about, and I didn't really talk about it before, but in the beginning, like every keynote, you know, they go over numbers, their current update on retail stores, how many apps they sell, and all that other stuff, and how many iOS devices were upgraded and stuff. I mean, they get into full detail, and the numbers are very incredible, as, you know, increasingly are every year. And if you want to watch the full keynote, I mean, you could too. You could do it right on Apple.com. You could actually do it right on my channel right now, and go see it. It got a whopping, like, 2,000 viewers while it was live streaming. I did it right on my YouTube channel. I streamed Apple's own stream. So you could definitely go check that out too. And then also you could check out my iOS 7 promotion kind of ad thing that Apple did. That's up on my channel too. And later coming this week, I'm going to be giving a full review of iOS 7. I'm actually going to do it right off my phone. I'm going to show everything that's new in iOS 7. So, I mean, you guys saw it already in the promo ad, but I kind of want to give my impressions and how I use it and how it really looks with hands-on. So, should be pretty cool. And then, of course, later this year, since I do own a Mac, several Macs actually, I am going to be doing a review, of course, a full review on the new features in 10.9 OS 10 Mavericks. So, stay tuned for that. Guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, rate, give this video a thumbs up, and click the subscribe button below. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mike's iOS Help for all updates on all Apple products and news. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.